Hey everyone, welcome to That's Peculiar. I'm Nathan.
I'm Andra.
And Andra has a show for you today.
Two-parter.
They're not supposed to know that yet. Yes, it's a two-parter, so today is going to be part 1. You'll have to tune in next week for part 2. I have also been instructed to give an update, apparently, because my life is so exciting.
It is. I'm sick with a kid, and my highlight of the week was drinking wine on my couch.
Yeah, and I was in Europe for 11 days.
Yeah. I need an update.
So we went to Europe for 11 days. We went to Amsterdam for 3 days. We went to Paris for 4 days. The first 2 days were like tourist days, and the second 2 were Disneyland Paris and then the Hollywood Studios at Disneyland Paris. So it's like,
now, question, because I saw your photos.
Huh?
You went in the Eiffel Tower.
Oh yeah, we went to the top.
Okay. I was actually really bummed, and I need you to know this.
What?
You stopped your Instagram story before you got to the top.
Oh, it was just supposed to be the elevator ride.
Yeah, and I was annoyed. I was like, what's it look like up there?
I didn't post any
went through your four photos or your 4 story posts waiting for the top, and I never saw it.
Yeah, I guess I forgot to post the top.
So I was sitting there waiting, and then I was like, dang it.
I have pictures of the top. Like I was busy. I was taking pictures up there.
You were enjoying your time.
I was looking at the view, had champagne up there. There's a toilet.
How dare you?
And there's a toilet up there, so I had to use that. And then we actually walked down. You have to take an elevator, I think, down to the next level down, but then you can walk down the rest of the way. And so we walked down the rest of the way. And the Eiffel Tower is a lot bigger than you think it is. Like it looks like, it's like, oh yeah, that's big, but then you actually go up and then you can see the whole city, and it's so tall.
My whole experience of Paris is I once had a 13-hour layover there, and I was going to Germany for Oktoberfest, and I didn't learn French for the airport, and nobody would talk to me.
They speak English at the airports.
Yeah, except nobody was helping me, and my gate got changed. And then I found this woman who I spent a glorious 10 hours with, never even got her name really, or like information. But we hung out for like 10 hours. She showed me where to go. She was from Australia, but lived in New Zealand. She lived and worked in New Zealand, and she traveled a bunch. And there's a train that goes into the city.
Yeah.
So we went and got a coffee underneath the Eiffel Tower, and then we went back into the airport together, and I didn't even take her email.
That's weird.
I don't even know her name.
Thank you,
redheaded lady from Australia, lives in New Zealand. I really appreciate
Thank you,
that
random
time.
stranger.
That I got a pastry with, and she spoke beautiful French, so I didn't have to worry the whole time. She ordered me an apricot pastry.
Oh.
Like, I didn't have to worry the whole time.
I will say that I enjoy public transit, like the metro in European countries is phenomenal. So yeah,
I wish we had it.
That's how we got around most of the time. So after we did the Paris day, we went to London for 1 night, but it was like 2 days. Is that right? Something like that. And then we went because we needed kind of a somewhere in between, and we like London, and Ross really wanted crispy beef from a Chinese restaurant. We can't find it in the US, so we had to go there for crispy beef. We had Chinese food 2 days. And then after that, we went to Germany for the last 3 days. But I have to say, I think that the highlight of the trip for me was in Amsterdam. We went to the alpaca farm and did
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it was so fun. They were so fluffy, and they actually reminded us of Otis. They're very much like our dog. So
So fluffy, I'm gonna die.
Yeah. Germany for me wasn't really. We went to Frankfurt, and I didn't really personally have the best time with the. I don't know. I think it might have been Frankfurt, and we didn't have a plan. I think is part of what it was. But like we went to the McDonald's in Frankfurt.
Right.
No good. I did not enjoy it. The chicken nuggets weren't that good. The Paris McDonald's though, that was good.
I'm really sad that you're going to McDonald's in all of these places.
Why? We had local food too. Like that's what we were. We had food. We had escargot in Paris. It was delicious.
I can't say too much because after Oktoberfest, we did get an Uber or whatever it's called there. You would think it'd be called Uber, but
They have
not.
They do have Uber, and then they have one called Bolt in Europe.
I think that's what we used.
The
we
Bolt,
had some
yeah.
service, and I was like, this makes no sense because the word Uber is German, right? Anyways, so we like went to a McDonald's, but I didn't eat any of it. I did notice there were different food.
Yes,
on the menu.
The food was different, but it also tasted. It was weird because it tasted fresher, but also still gave you like reminiscent of like U.S. McDonald's without being McDonald's. And if you're eating in,
their food is better.
Yeah,
too.
And then if you eat in at the McDonald's, it was on the Disneyland property. So if you eat in, they use reusable like trays and plates, and your fries come in the red thing, but it's washable. Your nuggets come in like a ceramic dish. Even their ice cream, like if you get, the fudge sundae that comes in that weird cone thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like you're saying they use dishes that they washed.
Yes.
For the actual items. I was like, you get it on a tray that's like.
No, not the tray. The food carrier, the item where they put the food in.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that was interesting.
That's better.
Yeah, and I think even the cups that they give you they reuse those and wash those too.
Yeah,
pretty sure
that's how it should be.
At a McDonald's, it was just weird because it was a McDonald's. So that was my takeaways.
It should be that way.
Anyway,
yay!
Anyway,
you had fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That's my European vacation. Vacation. It was good.
Well, I have a check-in. No, I have a fun fact. I don't know why I said I had a check-in.
I was like, what are you telling me?
This is big news that I can't remember.
That's what it sounded like. I was like, am I about to hear bad news?
No, but I am making a beef stew right now, an Irish beef stew, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm going to have that after this. Anyways.
Delicious.
My fun fact.
There we go.
What do Miss Piggy and Yoda have in common?
Oh, that's not a fun fact. That's a joke. Miss Piggy and who?
Yoda.
They both have the same puppeteer.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
really?
Voiced by the same person. Yeah. Frank Oz.
And look at me. I know stuff.
I mean, there's also like no other things that could be other than the person that made them, maybe.
I was thinking, I was going to say something crude like they both have the same person's hand up their ass.
Yeah, they do.
So
you should have said that.
I did after the fact, but
I mean, yeah. So, do you want to know what we're talking about today?
Yes, I do, because I'm very curious how this episode turned into a two-parter.
Two-parter? It may even be a three-parter, but not really.
3?
Yeah, I'll explain afterwards, but...
God, I apologize. Otis is barking if you hear him.
It's okay. I do. Up front, I want to let everyone know, stop laughing because it's serious.
I can't. The dog is barking, and Ross's mom is like...
This is a rough one, and people die. People are unalived in it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I feel like it's the alien abduction all over again.
I thought you liked that episode.
Well, I did like that episode.
Then yay, it's the alien abduction all over.
But I meant like we're having such a good time, and now you're going to be a Debbie Downer and be like, people died in this one.
Well, I think you'll still have a good time.
Well,
you'll
have inappropriate humor, so.
We both do. And we decided to do a podcast together. Anyways, so if you don't want to listen about people dying, even though only one of them is a murder.
So
the rest of them.
multiple people die in this story. Cool. All right. So for those of you who don't want to listen, thank you for listening.
Turn it off.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast about my trip to Europe.
And about my beef stew.
And about Irish beef stew. Have a good one.
Yeah, see ya.
All right. If you're
Today
still here.
Hi. And today we're talking about the movie The Poltergeist and the curse that surrounds it.
Because it's based on a true events and stuff, right?
So that is actually where the third parter could go. Is that I might actually do the true story of the Poltergeist house.
Wait.
But we are talking about the film, the movie.
Wait, we're only talking about the movie?
Yeah, and the curse that the 3 films... People think that the film is cursed.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So it's reminiscent of the Wizard of Oz episode, where it's about the film making process and what has
happened. Okay. I like that. I like this kind of stuff.
I never thought you would like it. Had you in mind.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Poltergeist, for anyone who does not know, is an American horror film franchise distributed by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer during the 1980s. The original trilogy revolves around the members of the Freeling family, who are stalked and terrorized by a group of ghosts led by a demon known as the Beast, that are attack the youngest daughter and take her all in.
I have something to confess, as I've actually never seen Poltergeist.
I don't think that matters.
Okay, cool. Just throwing that out there. So if you make any movie references, I'm going to be lost.
I think there are 3 kids, a mom and a dad.
Oh, simple enough. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then basically the premise of the story is what I just said. The Beast, they like the youngest daughter. She's beautiful, big blue eyes, blonde hair. I might say it, but Drew Barrymore was actually going to be the original person to play this. Think like Drew Barrymore, but like straight hair and bangs and...
Yeah, and so we got Drew Barrymore.
Cute, like very, very, yeah. So the original film was co-written and produced by Steven Spielberg, which was actually at the same time as E.T. It's all in the same time frame.
That also now explains kind of why she could have been cast as a little girl, because E.T. was happening around the same time. Cool.
Yeah. Steven Spielberg actually couldn't direct the second movie because of his, what is it when you're...
Contract?
His words. Yeah, essentially. That's not the word I was looking for, but yeah, his contract with E.T. He had to work on that, so he couldn't do the second one, but he was still a part of it.
Okay.
So Fox 2000 Pictures and Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer released a revisionist reboot of this series on May 22nd, 2015, but the only cast members to like reappear in the reboot is Heather O'Rourke, which is actually the little blonde that I talk about.
Oh, okay.
And Zelda Rubinstein. They were the only members that have appeared in all 3 films. So Poltergeist is the original film in the trilogy, and it's directed by Tobe Hooper and co-written, like I said, by Steven Spielberg, and released June 4th, 1982. When you mix a daughter who communicates with spirits living inside a TV set, a backyard becomes a swimming pool of muddy skeletons, a wolf beast demon that lives in a closet, and Steven Spielberg's genius, you get the formula for blockbuster scariness. I actually took that excerpt.
I was going to say, did you write that yourself?
No, that was like, someone said that about the like film.
Okay.
So the plot of the story is kind of similar to like The Labyrinth, but haunted, to me. So Carol Ann gets abducted by the Beast into the TV and communicates with her family through the TV. But similar enough to me that I was like, this story kind of reminds me of The Labyrinth. Eventually, they learn their house is haunted for a reason. The family story continued, blah, blah, blah. Then they do Poltergeist 2, Poltergeist 3, and then they do a reboot. So with Poltergeist's success came a creepy mistake. The classic movie is shrouded in real-life tragedies.
Okay.
And some interpret it's a curse on the movie.
That's where my brain would go.
Yeah. So let's get into some of these.
What happened?
Yeah.
Ooh.
There are several deaths that happened, but 4 deaths in total happened during and soon after the filming.
During the filming.
2 of these tragic deaths were highly unexpected and puzzling, leading to many fans speculating on the trilogy's eerie implications. But the first actor to meet a tragic and unforeseen fate is Dominique Dunn, who played the oldest sister, Dana Freeling. So Dunn was born in, I'm going to tell a little backstory. Dunn was born in Santa Monica, California. She's the youngest child of Ellen Beatrice and Lenny Griffin. And Dominique Dunn is her dad. He's a writer, producer, and actor. Dunn had Irish and Mexican ancestry. Her father was born and raised in an Irish Catholic family, with her maternal grandfather an Irish American and her maternal grandmother Mexican, who was from Sonora, Mexico. And I added that because it's fun. Dunn had 2 older brothers, Alex, and Griffin Dunn, who is an actor, producer, and director. Griffin is actually the main character in American Werewolf in London.
I didn't see that either.
I literally said, if you have not seen it, watch it. Exclamation point in my notes. You should watch it. That's nuts. That's a classic.
Yeah, well, so is Poltergeist, and here we are.
Anyways, Dunn attended Harvard, Westlake School in Los Angeles, Taft School in Watertown, Connecticut, and Fountain Valley School in Fountain, Colorado. After graduation, she spent a year in Florence, Italy, where she studied art and learned Italian. She studied acting at Milton Cazzella's workshop and appeared in various stage productions, including West Side Story, The Mousetrap, and My 3 Angels. Dunn met John Thomas Sweeney, sous chef at the Ma Mason, at a party in 1981. After a few weeks of dating, they moved in to a 1-bedroom house together in West Hollywood.
So,
and dude,
how old was she during the filming of Poltergeist then?
2, I believe,
Okay.
because I think she's 20 and she dies.
Because you mentioned that it was 1981 when she moved in with her boyfriend. So that's just...
Right. All in the same time frame. I think when they moved in together, she was still filming, or filming had just wrapped up, but the movie had not been released yet.
Okay, cool.
Due to Sweeney's, the boyfriend's, jealousy and possessiveness, the relationship quickly deteriorated. The couple frequently fought, and Sweeney began to physically abuse Dunn.
Oof.
So, during an argument at their home, September 26, 1982, Sweeney grabbed Dunn by the throat, threw her on the floor, and began to strangle her. A friend who was staying with the couple at the time heard loud gagging sounds and ran to the room where Dunn was being attacked. Dunn told the friend that Sweeney had tried to kill her, but Sweeney denied the claim and asked Dunn to come back to bed. She pretended that she was going to comply with his request, but sneaked out the bedroom or bathroom window. When Sweeney heard Dunn start the engine of the car, jumped off the... It's not funny, I can hear my kid yelling.
I can hear him too.
Sorry. Dunn stopped the car, so he jumped on the hood of the car, and then Dunn stopped the car long enough for Sweeney to get off, and then she drove away. For the next few days, she stayed with her mother, and she stayed at the Homes of Friends' house and she later called to end it with Sweeney. After he moved out, she had the locks changed and moved back into the home, right?
Absolutely, but I probably would have just moved.
They had some other terrible fights. You can look into them. This one leads up to the next one.
How long were they for when they moved in together?
Not very long. It was only a couple of weeks.
Oh.
And then their relationship, I don't even think lasted a year.
Oh, I've been out. Bye.
Yeah. So they broke up.
Good.
And that's the end. She moved back into the apartment. On October 30th, 1982, a few weeks after Sweeney and Dunn broke up, Dunn was at her house rehearsing for the miniseries V with actor David Packer. I actually looked him up. I didn't really find too much on him. But Sweeney showed up at Dunn's home. After speaking to him through a locked door, Dunn agreed to speak to him on the porch.
No.
While Packer remained inside. Well, the thing is, there's another person there.
I would have been like, come inside where someone can, because I don't feel comfortable talking to you
I also
alone.
think I also think people like this they're hard to get away from sometimes,
Yeah, he's possessive and jealous and
a lot. Yeah. Outside, the two began to argue. Later, Packer said that he heard smacking sounds, 2 screams, and a thud. Concerned, he called the police, but he was informed that Dunn's home was out of their jurisdiction. Yeah. So Packer then phoned a friend and told him if he was found dead, John Sweeney was the killer. So
what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
So Packer,
I'm sorry we can't come to your house.
It's out of the jurisdiction.
Who is supposed to help you then?
Yeah,
The sheriff's department?
It's so weird. I don't know. And then Packer left the home through the back entrance, approached the driveway, and saw Sweeney in some nearby bushes kneeling over Dunn. Sweeney told Packer to call the police. He did, and apparently successfully.
Sweeney told Packer
to call the police.
After he drug the body into bushes.
Yeah. When police arrived, Sweeney met them in the driveway with his hands in the air and stated, "I killed my girlfriend and I tried to kill myself."
Pre-K pause.
Yes.
So the Packer calls the police and they say, "Sorry, we can't help you. It's out of our jurisdiction." He goes outside and Sweeney goes, "Call the police," and they say, "Okay."
What I'm wondering is maybe he's like, "There's someone dead here. Send somebody." I don't know.
That doesn't change the jurisdiction.
That
doesn't change the jurisdiction, though.
It didn't go into any of that, and I didn't search it, so.
And he confessed immediately when they arrived.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the part that's annoying to me, I do find this annoying. He said, "I killed my girlfriend and I tried to kill myself."
We don't care about that part.
Boo. Who?
Yeah, no, you killed your girlfriend. End of story.
Just say I killed my girlfriend,
yeah.
Period. You're an asshole.
I wonder if he was trying to use the, I tried to kill myself to get him,
so that's what I was thinking.
Temporary insanity.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that would be my guess on the, defense strategy.
Yeah. Well, Sweeney later testified that he and Dunn had argued, but he could not remember what happened after their exchange.
Oh, it's giving me Chicago vibes.
He claimed, you mean?
She had it coming. Oh. And next thing she knew, she woke up and she was washing blood off her hands. I didn't even know they were dead.
I haven't actually seen Chicago, so.
Okay, we need to watch it. Moving on.
He claimed that he could only recall being on top of her with his hands around her neck. So, he was immediately arrested and charged with attempted murder.
Attempted?
Those charges were dropped after Dunn's death, however, and subsequently Sweeney was charged with first-degree murder, which he pleaded not guilty.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry. So Dunn was transported. I have these reversed. I should have put it in there.
So she survived
Dunn was
the
transported,
attack.
Dunn was transported to a medical center in LA where she was placed on life support.
Mm-hmm.
She never regained consciousness. And over the following days, doctors performed brain scans, which revealed that due to oxygen deprivation, she had no brain activity.
Mm-hmm.
On November 4th, 19 days before her 23rd birthday.
Oh,
so
dang.
She did die at 22.
Okay.
Her parents consented to remove her from life support.
Because she was brain dead.
Yeah, and if she did ever wake up, she wouldn't have brain function.
No, she would have been a vegetable.
Right. So Sweeney's trial began August 1983. So it started out as attempted murder.
But he pled not guilty. When he literally did this. I'm putting my hands up and I have killed my girlfriend.
Yeah. And then, get this, Sweeney took the stand in his own defense.
Please tell me they convicted him.
He testified that he did not intend to harm Dunn the night he arrived at her home.
Well, of course you didn't intend to harm the person when you got there. It turned into a heated argument. You lost your temper and you tried to kill her.
I think, what was he gonna get out of that, to me? They broke up. Move on.
I miss you. I'm sorry that I strangled you in our apartment.
Yeah, that's where I'm I don't know. He claimed that they had reconciled their relationship, and that they were planning to move back in together, and that the two had daily discussions about getting married and having children.
But please tell me that Packer took the stand and said, I heard 2 smacks and a thud.
They actually never mentioned him. I don't think he did. But Dominique's mom said that was not the truth.
We know.
Dominique. I keep saying Dominic because her dad's name is Dominic. It's Dominique. Dominique's mom said that's not the truth.
I like how his mom is like, no.
Yeah, they were not getting back together. They had the locks changed. You're crazy.
Wow.
The jury acquitted John Sweeney of second-degree murder, but found him guilty of the lesser charge of voluntary manslaughter.
Only because she didn't die when it happened, and she died later of complications.
Keep that mouth open for a second. He only served 2.5 years of that sentence.
What?
2.5 years. And this is in California.
And that's the manslaughter charge, though. That's it's a lesser, because manslaughter, if I remember correctly, and they call it involuntary, means the intention wasn't to kill the person.
This one is voluntary manslaughter.
Oh, they did voluntary manslaughter.
Yeah.
I don't know the specific definition of that one. I only know certain things because I did jury duty for 3 months in the summer one time for a murder trial.
I think no matter what, involuntary doesn't voluntary manslaughter sound like murder?
Yeah, it does.
What's the difference?
The thing is, it's the manslaughter charge that makes it different. First degree murder there's something like first degree murder is premeditated, and manslaughter it's not premeditated. So if you go into a situation and you end up killing someone, that's manslaughter. If I murder you, it's premeditated.
So you're just telling me I can think about murdering a person, but go in without the plan of it and serve 2 points.
Well, that's the thing, is he might not have actually been thinking about murdering her, but the conversation that they were having got him so enraged that he ended up killing her.
I think a person that has strangled another person has thought about murdering them another time.
Potentially, but you can't really prove that because it would be state of mind. And then I think
that is what's so annoying.
Yeah, and then I think with voluntary versus involuntary is involuntary would be like, oh, I pushed her. She happened to fall off a curb and got hit by a bus. And then voluntary
you
was,
can get involuntary in a car accident too, right?
it was like you really didn't mean for it to happen. And then voluntary would be like he definitely was intending to cause harm of some kind, maybe not kill.
Right. Well, after his release of 2.5 years of that sentence,
Okay.
like, I know freaking people that have served longer for fucking DUI.
Yeah.
Bunch of bullshit. Anyways,
Preach,
after his
sister,
release,
preach.
Sweeney was hired as head chef at an upscale restaurant in Santa Monica.
What? Doesn't that make him a felon?
Yeah, he is a felon, but
And then they hire.
I think a lot of
the restaurant industry is very lax when it comes to hiring felons. That's right.
Yeah, sorry guys. People that make our food could have killed somebody.
They could have, but
Should we just boycott restaurants?
But they've changed their ways. That's the whole idea. They've served their time.
Well, after he discovered,
I'm sure Sweeney didn't, however, change his ways.
Griffin, the American Werewolf in London movie guy, discovered where Sweeney was working, and him and his mother stood outside the restaurant where they handed out flyers to patrons that read, "The food you will eat tonight was cooked by the hands that killed Dominique.
I
Dunn."
love that.
Yeah, me too. Sweeney eventually quit his job due to protests that were staged by Dunn's family, and he moved out of LA. Okay.
Why
Why
are we still following this guy around? What else did he do?
I just this guy's stupid. Anyways, in the mid-1990s, Dunn was sorry. The one time I need to say Dominic. Okay, have you seen the spelling of Dominique and Dominic?
Isn't it like Q-U-E for Dominique?
Yeah, or Nick is the end of the other one. And it's just my brain. My brain sees the first 4 letters and it's Dominic every time, I guess.
We know you struggle with other languages.
In the mid-1990s, Dominic Dunn was contacted by a Florida physician who came across an article that Dunn wrote about Dominique's death. The doctor informed Dunn that his daughter had recently become engaged to a chef who went by the name John Sweeney, and inquired if the man was the same man responsible for Dominique's death. The man was later identified as the same Sweeney.
What?
And in the effort to protect the young woman who was now engaged to John Sweeney, Dunn's brother Griffin, American Werewolf in London, contacted the woman and asked her to reconsider her decision. Subsequently, Sweeney accused the Dunns of harassing him, and in effort to avoid further altercations, he changed his name.
That's wild. Oh my god. That's insane. And there's only one person in the cast.
But I also have to tell you, if anybody murders anybody close to me, you best believe I'm doing the same goddamn shit. I'm going to find out where you work. I'm going to find out who you're trying to marry. I'm going to write letters. I'm going to bug the shit out of you the rest of your life.
That's why he changed his name, Abby.
Yeah. And then he doesn't fall off the face of the earth. You can actually figure out what his name is. I think somebody figured it out. I didn't care.
If that happened to you, you would do everything in your power to keep track of whoever did it.
Yeah.
Huh.
We just bugged the crap out of him. You murdered my sister.
So he didn't actually ever really want to kill himself then, because he would have done
it. No. You guy's stupid. Hate him.
That's
so
wild.
This super tragic story is just the beginning of the Poltergeist Curse.
I can't believe that's
I know, it's wild.
That's the first part. It's been 10, 15 minutes, and I'm already there's more?
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is terrible domestic violence. No one should feel alone in this. And if they're going through something similar, just contact somebody.
I
Or
thought you were
get
going to
out.
give us like a phone number.
I think I meant to. And it's somewhere online. Google it.
Let's Google it.
Dominique's passing occurred before the sequel. So she is not the sister in the second movie.
She couldn't be.
Right. Yeah, so now we're going to talk about Heather O'Rourke. Are you
ready? Just pause. So, for those of you, if you are experiencing or know someone who is experiencing domestic violence, there's actually English, Spanish, and 200 plus languages available through interpretation services 24/7 in the United States. It is 1-800-799-7233. Or you can actually text BEGIN, BEGIN, to the number 88788.
You're not alone, people.
And they will help you out.
Anyways.
They will get you out of your situation.
Yes. So now that sad thing has wrapped itself up, we're going to talk about Heather O'Rourke.
And which one? Who is that? Which one's that one?
The cute little blonde baby with the blue eyes.
Yes, the almost Drew Barrymore.
You should look her up. She's beautiful. Heather O'Rourke played the Freeling's other daughter, Carol Ann.
Who is how old?
She was only 6 years old when the first Poltergeist was released.
Okay.
So Carol Ann, who is the young focal point of the movie trilogy, was 6 years old when the first Poltergeist was released. Heather O'Rourke was born on December 27, 1975 in San Diego to Kathleen and Michael O'Rourke. Her mother worked as a seamstress and her father worked as a carpenter. She only had one older sister, Tammy O'Rourke, who was also an actress. And I think I say it, but just in case I don't, Tammy is actually the one who tried out for the movie. But she didn't get it.
And her sister did.
During lunch, Steven Spielberg actually saw Heather.
And said you.
And decided, and was like, oh, you're the person. I might say that later. But that
would cause some like major problems for me.
It could. But I don't think Tammy O'Rourke was trying out for the same part. If that's better.
Well, how much older than her sister was she?
I didn't look her up.
She might have aged out, whatever. She wasn't 6.
No, she was not that much older, though.
Okay.
Like, I've seen photos of them, maybe like 4 years older, I think.
That's actually quite a big difference when it comes to making a movie about a child getting abducted by a monster into a television.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it was the same part at all.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good, but I'd still be jealous that my sibling made it into a movie that I auditioned for and they had no interest in.
Yeah. Well, so her parents divorced in 1981, and O'Rourke's mother married part-time truck driver Jim Peel in 1984. While they were living in a trailer park in Anaheim, California, her success allowed the family to purchase a home in Big Bear, California later. Between acting jobs, O'Rourke attended Big Bear Elementary School, where she was president of her 5th grade class. Yeah. I didn't know they did that either.
I was like, they do that?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it says it.
News to me.
Yeah, I didn't have a president. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm literally trying to think, like, did we vote for presidents and stuff? And I don't think so.
There's a weird time frame in middle school where I feel like we did do stuff like that.
I feel, but that way,
all of a sudden,
I feel like
and then
that
it fell off.
No, I remember. I feel like 8th grade we like voted for that stuff.
Yeah, well, I don't even remember doing that. So there it is. Spielberg, here it is, saw the 5-year-old at the time O'Rourke having lunch with her mother while older Tammy O'Rourke was shooting Pennies from Heaven. After lunch, Spielberg approached the family and offered Heather O'Rourke, I just put O'Rourke in here, so offered her the job in the Poltergeist role.
She didn't even audition?
She was signed the next day over Drew Barrymore, who instead received the role as Gertie in E.T.
What a weird time. Just someone walk up to you and be like, you have a movie part if you want it.
You look beautiful. You'd be perfect for this.
I don't know.
She never...
I don't know if you can act. I don't know if you can do any of this, but the job's yours.
Yeah. Poltergeist would go on to receive a cult following and critical acclaim, gathering 3 Academy Award nominations and a Young Artist Award nomination for O'Rourke. She was applauded for her performance in the New York Times, noting she played a key role. And it said, like, with her wide eyes and blonde hair and soft voice, she was so striking. They actually played the sequel off of her. After her work in Poltergeist, O'Rourke secured several television and TV movie roles. In April 1983, she starred as herself alongside Maury Amsterdam, a well-known Walt Disney animated characters TV special, and she was in Believe You Can and You Can. I've never seen it personally,
Never heard of it, never seen it.
Yeah. She also appeared in Chips, Webster, the new Leave It to Beaver, Our House, and she had a recurring role on Happy Days. I think Happy Days might be the same. I might be wrong, but I thought it might be the same guy with the dad from Modern Family.
No idea.
O'Rourke won her first Young Artist Award. She also appeared in television movies. She was doing great. And then she went on to do the second film and the third film, obviously in 1988, respectively. Unlike its other, the third did not get the same reviews, but O'Rourke was still praised for her performance in the third one, although the third movie did not do as great. And it is the final feature. It was released. Poltergeist 3 was released in June 1988, 4 months after her death. In early 1987, O'Rourke became ill with Giardia, which she contracted from well water at her family's home in Big Bear Lake.
What is that?
Dirty water. It's actually really common for puppies to get it. It's like dirty water. Humans can get it too, but like puppies
clearly
often
she
get it
passed
when they
away.
drink like gross water.
Yeah.
Well, she was subsequently diagnosed as having Crohn's disease. She was prescribed cortisone injections to treat the disease during the time she was filming Poltergeist 3. And something I want to note, because the mom notes it, her face, because of the cortisone injections, actually gets really puffy. So she was actually really like self-conscious about it. And I just want to note that because she's a beautiful, gorgeous person, and she does look a little puffy towards the end of her life, and it's because of these injections. So on January 31st, 1988, O'Rourke began exhibiting flu-like symptoms, and the following morning she collapsed in her home and was rushed to the community hospital. And then she was subsequently flown to the Children's Hospital of San Diego, where it was discovered. So back up. She suffered cardiac arrest on the way to the hospital.
Damn.
And they kept her alive. And then she was flown to Children's Hospital of San Diego, where she subsequently had another cardiac arrest while in the recovery room. So O'Rourke's cause of death was ruled congenital stenosis of the intestines complicated by septic shock.
Oh, wow.
So basically, Crohn's disease was not what she was experiencing.
Okay.
And doctors had expressed how unusual this was because she would have had stomach issues and other complications show up before this time.
Because of Crohn's.
No, she didn't have Crohn's.
Yeah, they were saying if she did, she would have experienced these other issues before.
No, opposite.
Huh?
She should have experienced it before it went into septic shock. She should have had these issues pop up.
Yeah, if she had Crohn's.
No.
No, I'm
because she would have had
confused.
sepsis. With sepsis. Ignore the Crohn's. Crohn's was wrong. But with sepsis, they're saying she should have had other symptoms.
Okay.
So it shouldn't have gone so far to stenosis of the intestines.
Because she would have experienced symptoms of it.
They should have been able to find this.
Yeah.
But they're saying, it's unusual because she didn't have stomach issues, apparently.
And then,
and other complications.
And all of a sudden she has sepsis.
Yeah. That's what they're saying. So Poltergeist was released 4 months after her death. And this is where we're ending part 1 of the Poltergeist Curse.
Just leave me hanging with Heather.
Comments? Thoughts? Nathan? That's what's in my notes.
I feel like I need more on Heather. This is pretty much where I'm at. Because I feel like...
More on her?
Yeah, I feel like...
What more do you want to know?
I don't know. I just feel like there's missing pieces, to her death.
There are, but there's nothing else you can find out there. They just say it's sepsis.
I hate that.
Yeah. And what's crazy about all of this is you can watch videos. I read a New York Times article, about there's so much information. You actually have to sift through it because some of it is wrong. But there is so much information given about the Poltergeist Curse and these deaths and everything that happens. You can get all the information, but there's nothing more.
Highly suspicious, all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Okay, well, that's pretty much... I have nothing else then because I was enjoying a story that abruptly ended about Heather O'Rourke.
You told me to leave you on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, but I thought there would be some closure to Heather at least.
She died. Very tragically.
That's as closure as you get.
That's not funny. She is so beautiful and so sweet. It's just...
Damn, that's upsetting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then...
I guess that's right.
End of part 1, listen to part 2.
Yeah, I guess come back next week to have your heart broken some more. Thank you everyone for listening to today's episode of That's Peculiar. We'll see you next week, especially with this mess. Until next time, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of That's Peculiar. Please be sure to like, comment, follow, and share if you are enjoying the show. Tune in every Friday for a new episode.